I don't know if it's back. Test, test. Hello. Hello. I think it's back. What is happening? Hello. I think we're back. Sorry, guys. My Wi-Fi cut off, and then it just started a brand new stream by itself, and I couldn't do anything. So, good grief. Um, I think it's back up. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's back up. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean for that to happen, but let's see. I'll just go back to where I was here. So, direction on the system. So, we talked about how this trough wants to get pulled into the trough, how the ridges will block it, and kind of try to push it west. So, here's the GFS. You can see the ridging is already well over the storm at this point. European at the same time, not as much. You can see there's still a direct path to this trough here. So that's the reason why the European wants to pull it more east. The GFS has this ridge over it and forces it more west. It's just little tiny differences in timing. That's all it takes. Little differences in timing. But yeah, it forces it into the panhandle and then eventually north and west. So that is why we're having such a difficult time with the uh, direction the storm could take, whether it's Florida Peninsula or the Panhandle. It's not that much of a difference. It's like it's just here or here. It doesn't seem like that much difference on the map, but um, it would make a big difference to a lot of people down there. So it's very important to watch little tiny changes in the forecast. All right, so here's why another reason why it could weaken right before it makes landfall. So here's the GFS. You can see the storm right here. There's no shear. This is looking at wind shear in the upper atmosphere. These greens, yellows, blues up here, this is wind shear that could affect the system negatively. It could disrupt the system and weaken it. So right now, it's in a perfect environment for development. There's no wind shear. In fact, the upper atmosphere is helping ventilate the storm with this clockwise flow around it on the upper atmosphere. It's ventilating the system. You can see it getting further north here. This little bubble around it is not actually wind shear. That's the wind from the storm reaching the upper atmosphere. This right here is wind shear over the northern Gulf, right over the Florida Panhandle. There's lots of wind shear right there, or will be. And if this storm pushes north into that, you can see it slows down, and this like flow of wind shear right here could really affect the system as it makes landfall. So that's another reason why if it turns right into western Florida, it could avoid all that wind shear and stay a stronger storm. So there's multiple reasons why an eastern track into Florida would be bad news and make a stronger storm. We already talked about that. Here's the ensemble members. So this is basically all the different computer members that the American and European models put together to make the model run. And here they are. You can see all these little red numbers depict how strong the storm is and where the exact center location would be. The farther out in time, the more spread out they are, as it kind of puts out all the different possibilities the storm could take. So here it is over Cuba. You can see them start to split up a little bit. We have some that are trying to push more east at this point, some that are still way down here. And this is the American model, by the way. It likes to keep most of them off the western coast of Florida. There's a couple of them that do go in, but for the most part, they stay out here in the Gulf until they reach the Florida Panhandle. You can see all these little red numbers, they start to go in. There's a few of them that do cross Florida, though. There are, but they're usually north of Tampa, um, and more so into the Panhandle, and then they go up into the southeast. So, it's basically the way to look at this is Most of them stay off, but there is a chance it could go into Florida. There is a chance based off the American model. European model, a little bit different. It likes the idea of some of these getting way ahead and going east. Some of these members really like the idea of Ian going just straight into Florida. In fact, about half of them do. Um, the other half do still go north into the Panhandle into Georgia and Alabama. But a majority of them, or close to half, do go into Florida or just barely off the coast, kind of scrape along the coast and then eventually go in. So the Europe is still a lot more east than the GFS. There's still a little bit of spread among those different models, same as the operational runs, but we definitely have to keep an eye on it. So here is, based off the latest National Hurricane Center forecast, here is the most likely arrival time of tropical storm winds. Right now it's showing uh, late Monday night, Monday evening, Monday night, into western Cuba. You could start feeling the effects of it. The earliest reasonable arrival time, still Monday night for Cuba, is when you'll start feeling those stronger winds start to move in. As far as Florida, we're still not exactly sure, but it looks like Wednesday night would be the most likely time for you to start feeling it. If it moves into more central and southern Florida, it would be earlier on Wednesday, but that's what it looks like for now. They have it at about a 60, 70, 80% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds along the northwest coast of Florida and up into the Big Bend and Panhandle areas. Um, so Tallahassee has like a 50, 60% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds at this point in time. And of course, that could change, but that's the forecast right now. Here is the 5-day forecast from the National Hurricane Center. You can see the reds here are hurricane warnings up for Cuba and the Cayman Islands, Western Cayman Islands. Eastern Cayman Islands is up for a tropical storm watch, but it will be pretty far out of the main center of the storm. But those outer bands could affect it. Nothing up, no watches or warnings up for Florida yet. It's still pretty far out in time, but I will expect those probably a couple days from now to be put out, especially if it takes a more eastern track. Here's again a better look at the wind speed probabilities for tropical storm force winds. You can see the reds 70+% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds. Yellows and oranges 30, 40, 50, 60%. Even into parts of the southeast. So we definitely have to watch as this thing moves farther north, if any changes happen with that. But I definitely think with this being a tropical storm, it just depends on where in the southeast it goes. If it goes into Florida, it would probably affect more southeast Georgia and South Carolina. If it goes into the Panhandle, it would affect more southeast Alabama and more Georgia. It's just kind of a toss up right now on the exact path and where the winds hit. But here's the chance of hurricane force winds right now. Big Bend area, Florida, up to about a 40% chance right now for hurricane force winds. So um, they're basing that off of that's still pretty far out, and it could shift directions a little bit, but definitely need to watch out. Currently I think the 5 p.m. update must have just come out. Let's reload and see if there's any changes. It looks like they've moved it down to a 45-mile-an-hour storm. So Ian's been struggling with some problems with its center. It's not able to get its act together so far today. Um, you can see it here on satellite. You can definitely see the spin, but it's kind of a messy look, and it can't quite seem to get its act together today. They just bumped it down from 50 miles an hour to 45 at the latest update for its current wind speed. So it's definitely trying to figure it out. But I'm very certain it will get its act together tonight, if and tomorrow, if not. And then it will begin to gradually and rapidly strengthen in the Western Caribbean. Here is a different look at the ensemble members, the model ensemble members. Right here, you can see this is the European model. This is called the spaghetti plots because it kind of looks like spaghetti noodles. But right here, you can see some of the stronger ones try to get into the middle of the Gulf here and not hit Florida, but then they weaken before landfall as it hits that dry air. And some of these go straight into Florida and go right across. So there's definitely a split in the European models that wants to get some of them to go up here straight through Florida and some into the Panhandle. But it is tightening as we get closer. It's getting it's they're coming to more of a consensus. So we'll definitely get more on that in a couple of days here. All right, let's see if we can go back. It'll let me. I don't know what's going on. Um, don't know what's going on. Let's try reloading the whole page. Yeah, no, okay. Looks like their site apparently went down. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that, but anyway, you can kind of see there's a little bit of split still in the models on where exactly it'll go, depending on if that cold front will kind of help push it east or not. We don't really know about that too until we get closer. Um, and whether and the models will eventually kind of come together on where that trough and that ridge sets up finally as the storm approaches Florida. So, but anyway, I'm planning on chasing it. I'm planning on chasing it. Still waiting to find out exactly where it'll hit. Because I'd rather not drive all the way down to Tampa if it's gonna hit the Panhandle. Me being in North Georgia, save some gas with gas prices being so high. But earlier this summer, I wasn't even sure if I was gonna be able to, because gas was so high. But thankfully, it's come down some, and I feel comfortable chasing. So, um, I'll definitely be on this storm, and I'll probably go live on here. I'm hoping to get to 50 subscribers by the end. Uh, hopefully very soon. Because if so, I'd be able to go live on my phone. So please help share this. That would be great. The if yeah, if I could get 50, that would be awesome. Then I could go live on my phone during the storm and show you what's going on, show you damage, show you wind, all that. Um, but yeah, I'll be chasing with a few buddies. It's gonna be great. Definitely gonna try to get some wind measurements um in the center of the storm if possible. But that's about all I got on the storm right now. I'm feeling like this will be um my gut tells me, well, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I would want to say Panhandle hit. My gut's telling me Panhandle hit, but the setup is a little different with that cold front coming down. It's a little bit different because that could push it east some. I really don't know, but um it's definitely going to be an interesting to see how this plays out. But definitely a good time to prepare if you're in any part of the western coast of Florida, the Panhandle. Definitely good time to prepare is now, um, not in a couple days, right now, because this could this could definitely be a life-threatening storm, and most likely will be. So whether or not it's a Category 1 or a Category 3, 4, it's gonna be a rough storm. So definitely time to be hunkering down. But that is gonna be about it. Go follow me on Twitter, guys. Let me go to here's my profile right here at Josh Griffith WX. I post on the tropics a lot here. I'll notify when I go live here, and then you can follow me on Facebook as well. It's also Josh Griffith WX, and that's where you'll be able to get also updates on my chasing. So Um, thank you guys for watching, and that's gonna be it for me for now. I'll be back with updates as we get closer to the storm, um, getting into the Gulf. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.